So I thought I'd show a video, put together a video of my current knife collection. These are the knives that I just usually rotate through daily on my daily carry. I'm going to start with my folders first and then just show you some of my fixed blades. Fixed blades I don't usually carry daily. They're more for hunting, or they're my hunt pack or things like that. So I'm going to go with the first, what I would say, higher, better quality knife I ever bought. I believe I had a gift card to a sporting goods store, but I went and got the Zero Tolerance ZT 350. I've carried this one a long time. I went ahead and put the deep carry pocket clip on there. I think I got it online from somebody. And then I went ahead and changed the back spacer, and I actually got these standoffs. When I ordered these were actually supposed to be green. I have a thing for green, but they came out blue. But anyways, so that's my Zero Tolerance ZT 350. I believe still is S30. Let's see, S30V. Carried it for a while. It's a little bit heavy, and it's just the blade shape isn't so. It's a little bit more tactical than I like for everyday tasks. So what I'll show you next, I've shown you guys before, but this is my Southern Grind Spider Monkey with carbon fiber S30VN flow through. I guess there's some lint in there. I got to clean it. So I love carrying this knife. Carry it like when I'm kind of dressed up, or wearing jeans with that knife. Love that knife though. This knife a buddy, I'm running out of room, so I'm going to move these off. This knife a buddy gave me. He's totally into Benchmades. So he gave me this for Christmas one year. So it's the limited edition Benchmade Griptilian. I went ahead and got the deep carry pocket clip on it as well. It is serrated, or dual edge serrated, and it's the 154 cm. So love the access lock. Love the color of this knife. Love that you can just pop it out. You know, it's very light and easy to carry. So that knife spends a lot of time in my pocket. Show you the SOG Mini Aegis. I picked this one up probably on Steep and Cheap or Woot.com or something like that. Saw Nut and Fancy made a video of this knife and really highly recommended it. I'll be honest, I don't carry this too often. It is lightweight and it is nice, but there's just other knives that I'm into better still. I did carry this on a hunting trip when I was doing a lot of hiking, and I wanted a lightweight way to lighten up my pack and lighten up everything I was carrying. So I carried this like that. So SOG Mini Aegis. I did have to send this back to SOG because the spring broke. And I think that happens often on a lot of these knives. So I sent it back for a warranty repair, and they sent it back with a new spring for the, you know, flip out automatic action that it has. So there's your SOG Mini Aegis. This is my Boker Burnley Quaken with the IKBS VG10 carbon fiber scales. So I got into this knife, just saw some Burnley designs, started kind of looking at Lucas Burnley's work, realized that he was from my hometown, so I was like, well, that's kind of cool. I should pick up one of his blades. Looked at his custom stuff, and I was like, yeah, no, that's way too expensive. So found this one on Boker. I think I paid $110, $120 for it. This knife I like to carry when I'm wearing dress pants. When I'm dressed up and going out making sales calls, this is a great gentleman's knife. So I always have this one with me, usually when I'm making calls, making sales calls. What else do I want to show you? So this is your Spyderco Serge Panchenko cleaver design, VG10 scales. or VG10 steel, sorry, and then G10 scales. My wife bought this for me for Christmas one year. Funny story about this one, because I opened it, took it out of the package, and within about 2 seconds of owning it and keeping it in my possession, I cut myself on Christmas morning. So my wife wasn't too happy about this. I like to carry this one. This one's a conversation piece. This knife people see and they're like, hey, that's cool, that's different. I love this clip here. It just settles in your pocket and carries deep and carries nice. So my Surge Cleaver Panchenko design from Spyderco. This is my newest Benchmade. I can't remember the name of this knife, but it's from their Hunt series. It's S30V steel. I bought this knife actually because I do a fair share of hunting, and hunting season's coming up. And I had another knife and I dropped it, and it was black and I couldn't find it. And I was like, you know, I need to find a knife with some bright orange colors for hunting, so I can keep track of it. So this is my Benchmade access lock S30 steel, super sharp. Really, I enjoy carrying this knife. Next up, I'll show you, my brother bought me this one for Christmas, Fossil. I am really impressed. It's a big knife, and it's a heavy knife, right? And I've got tiny hands, and it's a heavy knife, but it's super sharp, it's super smooth, it flips right out, IKBS bearings, it's nicely centered. For a CRKT, they did a great job with this knife. It's got a lot of traction. It's easy and it feels good in the hand. You know, I carry this knife from time to time, and I'm really impressed by it, especially because it's CRKT. So the last folder I'm going to show, no, I've got a couple more folders actually, as we're flying through this. Buck 110. Bought it at Walmart for $32. And the only reason I bought it was because I think everybody should own a Buck 110. So there's my Buck 110 right there. I don't think I've ever carried it on a hunting trip. It's too heavy. I may keep it in a pack from time to time. I've cut very few things with this knife, but I own it and it's mine. The next two is I've got my little Leatherman Skeletal in toxic green, because that's my favorite color. Not much to say about your Skeletal. Pliers, screwdriver, your knife. And then I think when I bought the Skeletal, it came in a pack with this little Leatherman Skeletal KBX knife as well. Carry these both from time to time, usually on the weekends, usually if I'm doing something around the house. I'll keep this in my pocket just so I have a blade and I have pliers and I have handy access to screwdrivers. So that's all my folding knives that I have. I want to show you the first fixed blade I bought. So I believe this is the Bark Rever Necker. They don't make these anymore with the separate knife, and then you went and bought the scales and put them on yourself. CPM 3V steel. Story behind this knife is a buddy of mine had it, and I saw it, and I played with it, and I was like, I have to have one. His is in blue with blue scales, but because I have a thing for green, I went with this green knife here, and then I just keep it in this KSF knife ship free little pouch. And I used to keep a flashlight in here, but I don't anymore. So love this knife. I take it hunting with me, especially like dove hunting, bird hunting, duck hunting. This knife does a great job of cleaning birds. So I'll just show you my next Bark Rever. This is my Bark Rever, oh, what do they call this one? Micro Canadian. So use this one to actually, believe it or not, it's tiny, right? But I used this knife to skin a whole hog. We went hog hunting in Texas, and between me and another buddy cleaning, I think we had 4 hogs to clean. I used this knife to skin a hog, and it was still razor sharp after I finished skinning the hogs. So I love that little knife. Great little skinner that usually will stay in my hunt pack. Next knife, Bradford. So story behind this knife, and this is their G3S, their sheep's foot series. In their Guardian series, I believe this is 3.5 inch or 3 inch. It's the M390 steel. Story behind this knife is I was supposed to go to Blade Show in Portland last year, and one of our dogs got sick. So my wife still went to Portland. She had some family stuff she was doing, and I was going to go with her, but I was going to go hit Blade Show while we were up there. And I decided, Nina, dog was sick, so I'm going to stay home with the dog, make sure he gets better. So I missed Blade Show, and I was so pumped and so excited about going. So my wife surprised me and sent a buddy of mine who was going to Blade Show. She sent him with some money and had him bring me back a knife. So this is a knife he picked out for me. And I love this knife. It's super sharp. It went with me on my elk hunt last year. Didn't get to shoot an elk, but it's going to go out with me on my elk hunt this year. And I think this is my elk hunt kit. And then that's what's going to be in my pocket for this next hunt. So I've got a skinner, I've got a fixed blade, and then I've got my folder. A buddy gave this to me. It's Pakistani Damasteel. Super sharp. You can see the fit and finish isn't perfect on it, but you know what? It was a gift from a buddy. So I always keep this one in my collection as well. And then last but not least is I have the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation 2019 Banquet Edition knife. It's 156 of 530 S30V, Benchmade. Went up to a small town. We usually hit the banquet. I was actually looking for an elk hunt. Didn't have an elk hunt. I knew this knife retailed for about $200. They started it real low on the live auction. Nobody was bidding on it. I bid on it a couple times. Another guy bid me up. Anyways, ended up paying $110 for this knife. It goes to a good cause, but I also feel like I picked it up at a pretty good deal. So it's your Benchmade micarta scales, S30V blade, super sharp, and then it's got your leather sheath on it. So I haven't used this knife. I use this knife when we go camping. I've used it for food prep. I think I was making guacamole, so I used it to cut up some tomatoes and guac and avocados for guacamole, maybe a jalapeno or something like that. So anyways, so that's my pile of knives, and move them all back over here. Look, make sure I don't cut my finger off. But that's my pile of knives. Thought I'd just do a quick video on it and show off a little bit. Been collecting knives for probably about 10 years now, something like that, and this is what I've so far amassed. And I actually do have some cheaper knives, less expensive knives. I've got a couple stashed in my truck. I've got a knife, a CRKT, in my my little day pack where I keep my laptop and my everyday carry things. I've got a knife, I can't remember the name, in my go bag in the back on the trunk of my car. So I've got knives kind of stashed other places too, but these are mainly what's in my pocket. And then if I ever get separated from these, I've got knives in my vehicles as well. So anyways, hope you guys have a fantastic day, and thank you for taking the time to take a look at all my knives.